and the runner-up. Steph Curry has treated the playoffs like his personal playground, averaging 28 points per game so far and knocking down an incredible 46 threes in 10 games, including 8 in the Game 6 closeout of the Grizzlies.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, Matt. When you watch the young man play, he's really playing free-spirited basketball. You go back to the beginning of the season, Steve Kerr challenged him to continue to give the effort on the defensive end and let him be free-flowing on the offensive end, and he's showing us that.
Some unbelievable shots, and Curry has been a pretty good barometer for the Dubs this postseason. When he's hit 3 or more threes, they've won. When the shots aren't falling, the Warriors have.
That's a great point, Matt. And when it's the kind of shots that he's making, we've been so used to seeing him shoot off the dribble, but the catch-and-shoot three throughout the playoffs has really been on fire.
Well, despite sitting out the fourth quarter of several games in the semifinal win over the Clippers, James Harden is still averaging just under 27 points and 8 assists in the playoffs so far, and getting to the free throw line more than 10 times a game. In fact, he leads all players in the postseason with 117 made free throws through a dozen games.
That's incredible. You talk about attack mode, and you talk about your style of play. From day one, when James Harden steps on the floor, he has that freedom to take his man off the dribble, and they run so many high pick and rolls and side pick and rolls with James Harden, and he turns that corner and puts so much pressure on the big guys.
Well, this will be the 22nd time in NBA history the top 2 vote getters in the MVP race meet up for a playoff series, and the award winner will have the Rockets' full attention.
I know we got to make sure Chef Curry doesn't get cooking. No, but seriously, we just got to go play basketball. You know, enjoy this moment. You know, this is a journey. You know, we're all trying to get that prize, but we got to enjoy the journey, endure the process, and hopefully we'll end up one step closer.
Well, this is going to be a shootout. I mean, there's no way it's not a shootout, right?
Oh, I agree.
Each team is going to put up somewhere around 30 threes per game. I would imagine the way the pace of these games will be played, probably above that number. How will that change the dynamic of the entire series, just the way these two play on the offensive end?
Well, we saw Golden State withstand the Grizzlies. They're tough defense and playing tough down low. No Mike Conley, no Tony Allen. We're talking about James Harden and Jason Terry. So now they're not going to see that defensive pressure on the perimeter. So now the Splash Brothers probably run freely. I don't see any game, Matt, being under 110 or 120.
No.
All the threes and the lack of perimeter defensive play. Now, for the Rockets, the same similar thing. Will the Splash Brothers put enough pressure? Can Draymond Green slow down the pick and roll? And now it's a finesse big guys when you talk about Josh Smith and Dwight Howard. With the 4 or 5 alley-oops they ran throughout the playoffs, getting off to a good start, how does Draymond Green and Bogut attack that?
So we looked this up. The record in a Western Conference Finals for most made threes in a series is just under 18 per. These two are going to blow that number away.
Blow it away, hands down. Just one team itself is going to make probably 17 threes in one of those games. But that's what makes this series so much fun, because it's going to be fast-paced, so many contrasts of styles because of Houston Rockets not being physical down low, but having a lot of big guys in Josh Smith, and Terrence Jones, and obviously Dwight Howard.
Obviously, these two teams are fueled by the MVP candidates, but you believe the most important matchup on the floor has nothing to do with either of them.
No, not really, Matt, because I think Josh Smith and Draymond Green, that matchup is going to be very, very interesting, because Draymond is so used to banging guys and fighting for position.
As he did in the last series.
Exactly. Well, now Josh Smith, he's out on the perimeter. He's making threes, and he's showing us now he can facilitate. And a lot of times you cringe at yourself if you're an old Hawks fan, but Rockets fans saying, we love this new Josh Smith, playing solid defense down the stretch. What he did to Blake Griffin in Game 7 was phenomenal. But I think now Draymond Green has to think more like a 3-man, because Josh is shooting threes and putting the ball on the floor. Now, the same thing for Josh. Are you willing now in transition to get back in defense, but also know that Draymond Green likes to stop and pop and shoot that 3, so now it takes you away from the basket. So who's going to be more disciplined to stay in their ball game and stay in their principles as a team, knowing that you're going against what you went through in the previous series?
Dwight Howard and Andrew Bogut is another interesting matchup. Bogut doesn't play the minutes that Howard does. Dwight was great against DeAndre Jordan and the Clippers in the last round. How much of a challenge does he pose for the Warriors?
A big-time challenge if Dwight stays patient, knowing that this is a different kind of defense coming at you. Draymond may be on you some, Bogut may be on you some. If Bogut gets in foul trouble, you bring in Festus Ezeli, who's a bigger banger. We don't know about most space. You know that calf is still an issue. So Dwight has to be patient, understand that different styles of defense is going to come at him, but also make sure he makes quick moves.
Remember David Lee? We saw a little of him in the Memphis series as well. If the Warriors go small, that's another challenge for Howard.
It is, and David Lee, I've been impressed with him the whole time, being professional, not knowing when you're going to be ready, but stay ready.
Oh, this one's going to be fun.
Yes, put your track shoes on, man.
Just ridiculous.
Put your track shoes on.
Fortunately, I don't have to run. I'll put my feet up and watch instead.